I'm your host, Faru, and today I'm joined with Benjamin. Benjamin, quickly introduce yourself, please.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Farouk. So I'm Ben. I'm coming from Bordeaux. I'm working as a motion designer, as a freelancer for 7 years now. I'm mostly working for SaaS companies, especially tech companies, brand animation, product videos, etc.
Right. And how long have you been working as a designer?
As a motion designer, because I've always been a motion designer for almost 7 years too.
Yeah,
At the end of
right.
my studies, I had to start something because I didn't plan to continue any studies or something. And at the time, from what I remember, I just started my career as a freelancer because I didn't have a choice. So yeah.
Yeah. So you never worked for another company. You just quickly started your career as a freelancer.
Um, so just for the context, it was a I had a diploma of global tech things. I learned some basis on motion design, illustration, video development, a lot of things. And then I was in an internship, and the the plan was to be hired in this company, but after like 5 or 6 months of internship, they told me, "Hey, we are going to close the company." At the time, I was okay. I didn't expect that, so that's why I decided to start my career as a freelancer. And fortunately, at the time, a friend of mine told his boss in his internship that he needs a motion design, so he told him about me. So it was my first project as a freelancer, but then the path was a bit more complicated to find prospects, clients, etc. But so I started to learn motion design in 2015, and I'm working full time from the end of 2016.
I love it. And so I guess before we get into the business side of things, I'm curious, since you sort of like mainly started your career as like a freelancer, do you say there are like, what do you say there maybe there's some like pros or even maybe some cons, like some disadvantages perhaps of like having started as a freelancer rather than maybe having worked at a company where you sort of learn the systems and sort of learn the technical side of the delivery of the service?
Um, Yes and no. I would say I learned a lot of things during my internship because it was basically the, the only one studio, by the way, the motion design studio in Bordeaux at the time. Which were really specialized in motion design. So they learned me a lot of things. They learned me to how to storyboard, how to speak and deliver things to the clients, iterations, a lot of techniques, obviously, in After Effects. Even if a lot of things was even with even when you are working in a company, you are mostly learning on the internet and YouTube, etc. Behance,
I
but
see.
I learned a lot of basis during my internship. But to be honest, I almost dived in the uh, as a blind in the world of freelance.
Yeah, I love that. And so you said you live in France. Do you primarily like is your target market like since you work with SaaS companies too? Are they like SaaS companies based in France, or do you like expand beyond that?
So, how can I synthesize this? At the beginning, do you want like my first month's history about my career, and then
Please, please
you
do,
will
please
know
do.
why I'm now focused with SaaS companies. So, end of 2016, I have one project, and then nothing. Obviously, I don't have any network. I don't know a lot of designer, even in Bordeaux. So what I've done for 3 or 4 months, from what I remember, was create a new activity in order to survive. As a biker, I was working for Deliveroo, basically. So
Uh-huh.
I was I was working on side things and trying to get clients on my free time. And uh, at every lunch and dinner time, I was in the city working with my bikes, trying to survive. But yeah, um, step by step, I started to speak with prospects, basically on LinkedIn. A lot of friends of mine, we did the same studies in my classroom, were often talking about me to their companies, to their boss, or here and there, because I was the only I think I'm the only one who continues in motion design in my class. Now they are all something else than motion designer. So they were, yeah, they were often talking about me. And one day, one of these guy told me about Luc Chessac, that I say, hey, Luc, today, because I can thank him a lot for what I am today, because Luc was working with Damien. Both are really, really talented brand designer. One is working at Luni in Bordeaux, but also he works for a few years at Ladis as a brand designer. He's now working also at Luni. He co-founded Doc. I invite you to check doc.us. The brand is absolutely wonderful. And these two guys were working at Mushu Mushu, so it was a brand studio in Bordeaux. It was the beginning, almost at of the studio, and they were looking for a part-time contract with a freelance motion designer. And basically, my friend sent me this message, this what's the word, the post,
Yeah. The
the job
job post. Yeah.
job offer. And so I meet them, and it was a lot of luck, I mean, because at the time I got here and there small missions, small jobs, and Luc and Damien instantly gave me a little test job before to see, in order to see if it was going to work with me. And just after this test, I started to work like I got a contract of 6 days a month with them. So it was a salary for me at the time, because so this 6 days a month was 1,080 euros, something like this. And when you are starting an activity in France as a freelancer, with the helps in terms of rates you are paying to a beautiful country, it was only 5%. So 5% of 1,080, it was almost nothing. So I was really comfortable at the time, and only 6 days a month was pretty cool, because it allows me to work on other stuff, to find and try to find other clients. So yeah, Mushu Mushu, name of the studio, was the real my real first step in the world of SaaS companies, because their clients were ladies, Aircall, Spendesk, Payfit, a lot of SaaS companies which are like almost all unicorns today. And I will try to go forward and to accelerate my history. But for a few months I worked with them. Obviously, I got other contracts. I wasn't only working with them. It wasn't easy to find other prospects. And then they hired me in not in freelance, but in a real contract for 1 year, because once again at the end of this this year, they decided to close the company.
That's
So,
2 times already.
because maybe I'm the problem, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
So
it was for other reason. The studio was running really well. The clients and the projects was amazing. Even today, because it was in between 2017 and 18, almost 19. I still have some projects from this time on my portfolio because we were so proud of what we were doing. And my luck in this unluck story was that once again I was the only one motion designer of the team, because basically all the other guys were developers, brand designers, and illustrators. So then when they decided to close the company, obviously the company still needed for support and for our help. So that's how I got my first clients. I mean, I gathered them from the close of the company. And from this day, I always had an organic network. I mean, all these clients have spoke of, yeah, they all speak about me to other companies, to other clients, to friends, etc. And yeah, it's really, yeah, I don't think I had to send like cold emails or try to find clients from this time. I feel really lucky for this, but I guess that means they love my work. They love how I work. And yeah, maybe I will let you ask other question because
yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing all of this. But yeah, so I guess you mentioned since so you actually do zero outreach whatsoever. You keep on getting clients referrals. So are you usually working with companies again, or is it just the fact that companies are referring you to other companies?
mostly referrings. My yeah, the biggest part of my works are product videos or UI animations, Lodi animations, and these are like specific demands. They are not recurrent. They often like, oh, we need this now, and this is not a job they need like for months.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty punctual. I
Mhm.
mean, in terms of a project, and so they, yeah, it's pretty rare. Uh, it's not often that I work again with these clients, but it happens. When they want to update video, when they want to rebrand something, and keep me as the motion designer of the project. Um, but yeah, mostly recommendations.
Right, love this. So when you hop on calls with these clients, then you would you consider how what's do you have a like specific like structure to how you approach your sales calls? Like, do you ask specific questions? Or is there usually a specific goal that you have before you reach to the whole discussion about pricing and just sort of what the next step is?
Mm. Fortunately, it's not too hard for me to scope projects because the demands are pretty often the same. I mean, they know if you go on my portfolio, I'm not this creative guy which will be able to create a brand new ad in 3D with abstract or abstract fractal concepts, etc. What I do is pretty easy to understand and pretty easy to produce. I mean, I'm mostly working with an existing brand, and I'm turning this brand and the products, the UI screens, etc., in a product video. So the first thing, the most essential one to ask is a brief, obviously, like a conducting line of what they want, the key features they want to highlight. Um, Pretty often, they already have their references from what I like, and pretty often, since they know me or they get referred to me. They sent me existing projects I've done, so I'm pretty transparent, and I told them, okay, the price of this video was 5K, this one was 8, and I pretty often I share my screen, I show my process. I'm creating a time frame so they can see all the micro steps and understand, so they can understand better why it costs this price. But yeah, I'm not asking too much question. Obviously, the base. What's the conducting line? Is there an existing brand? Are you looking for something like brand new? Because I also want to know if am I the right guy for this video? Are you looking for something super creative, or are you looking for someone which will be able to take your brand and create a really cool video from this? I'm more this type of guy than the really creative guy. In this case, I will recommend someone else because I don't want to take the job of someone who can do it better.
Right.
And it's not like I'm not seeing me like it's not a pessimistic point of view. I'm just okay. My job is this. I can do this, and I don't want to spend too much time or to try to do something that other guy can do better than me.
Right. Yeah, I love this. So it's really more putting the customer first and just kind of making sure you can actually help with their priorities. If not, then you're just going to waste your time and their time as well, right? Yeah. Regarding
But
pricing, I was curious since you mentioned that. Do you have what's the approach for pricing? Is it more so that do you have like very fixed prices? No matter who you talk to, it's always the same price, like it's a commoditized price, or like a productized price. Sorry, or is it more sort of like depends on who you're working with? Like a big company that's making, let's say, millions in a year, the price could be a bit different than companies that maybe are making like 1,000 or 10,000 a month.
yeah, I'm working with two different ways. The day rate one for smaller projects like I don't know, UI animation, logo animation, or it can be more illustrative things. But I mean small task, and by small task I mean one day, between one day or even half a day. Sometimes I'm just uh, invoicing like 2 hours of my time. It happens because I'm not the kind of guy who said, "Okay, I'm fast, but I will not tell it to the client, so I will invoice one day. I will invoice 2 hours because
You're
that's it."
transparent then, yeah.
I want to be transparent. I am truly convinced that my success today is due to my transparency and the importance of human relationship I have with my clients, because I think it's really important. I don't, and I will continue with the original subject at the end, but I'm not saying that you have to be friends with your clients, but don't see your client just like someone which is going to pay you. You're working probably as a passion designer, a passion motion designer, 3D artist. Okay, they will pay you, but let's see how you can take their idea, their need to the top. I mean, maybe not to the top, but to the best you can do. You are here to help him, and not just to take his money. That's really my philosophy, the way I try to think every time I have a project. Obviously, depending on the clients I have in front of me, I will adjust my day rate, because sometimes there is like early startups, early tech companies which have less budget. I will obviously charge less, sorry, than for example, I used to work with Gladys. I was talking earlier. So my day rate at the time was for this kind of big companies is like minimum 650 euros, and it will be max 800. It's pretty few time I invoice this price, but it can happen. It really depends on the kind of clients you have in front. And for smaller projects, smaller clients, I will go down to 500. I will, yeah, I don't think I'm going lower, maybe 450, but really, if I know the guy, for example, in person, if they want to hire me for a lot of days, so I try to add discounts or promotions to my price. But one of my principle is that, and after 7 years of freelancing, I can say it. If you already worked several times at this price, you should not lower your price for something for someone else. Sorry, for someone new. Probably order more than 100 clients, maybe less, maybe more. Now I don't know. Since 2016, but yeah. And in my day rate, I also try to include my skills, my experience, also the taxes you have to pay. Where I live, I bought this house last year with my girlfriend, so I have also to consider that my level of life. Level of life has changed. I also include the subscription to Cinema 4D, Adobe. I try to also Loom, what else? Dropbox, Frame.io. A lot of subscription. It's more than €100 every month. So you should include it in your day rate too. And to go back to the second option, not the day rate, but the flat fee. It's more for product videos. I basically try to just see, okay, this is this kind of client. Usually I'm charging this price because I know that it will be pretty fun for me for product videos between 30 and 1 minute, 30 seconds and 1 minute. It will be a 3 or 4 week sprint. It can be longer, can be faster. Not often, but can. And I'm just thinking about, okay, so it will be almost it will be my main project for the month. I want to earn at least this amount of money at the end of the month, and then I take other. This is the first way of thinking, and then I add, okay, they want this style, they want 2D, they want 3D, they want, oh, this is blurry.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
Good.
I will add some factors to the way I quote the project. I will study the brief they will send me. If we are more in a 30-second video or 1 minute, obviously. The amount of UI screen they want to animate, the way they want to animate it. I also try to propose other options, like for the product video I've done for Doc last year. For example, instead of just proposing the basic idea of an artlist music, or epidemic sound or whatever, I'm pretty always proposing to work with a sound designer, which will be able to add SFX, obviously, but which will be able to compose a brand new music and a unique music for the video. Obviously, all the clients can't afford this because it's almost pretty often the price of the motion design in more, because obviously there is a lot of research to do, production, and then the licenses to use the music, plus the sound design part. SFX, the sounds. So this is an option I try to include too. The price of this flat fee can be viable.
Yeah.
Sorry, it got a bit long, but
No, on the contrary, I'm actually very impressed on how like detailed and how like structured this is. Not just with the pricing, but also with sort of like how you connect that with your costs, cost of living, and then cost of actually incorporating all that. It's actually very impressive. Most designers really are just kind of like doing it a bit more sort of where it's just like it's a bit more random if you want to say. It's a sort of like, yeah, I priced this the other time it worked, so maybe I can price something similar to that, but they don't incorporate other things, especially the cost, which is very important. Sometimes you think you're running a profitable project after you incorporate, let's say, the fees that you pay for other people to help you out. But then when you actually study the accounting parts and you study actually all the other costs, the hidden costs, and then your cost of living, then all of a sudden maybe you're not as profitable as you thought you were.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
totally. For example, when I started to work as a freelancer, I was living with my two best friends in a really cool flat, and the price was incredibly low. We were splitting in three, 750 euros of rent by three. So I was only paying, yeah, 250, something like this. And this plus, I mean, my phone subscription and I don't know, electricity, basic stuff, and my food. Okay, I at the time I needed like maybe 500 a month to live. It was nothing. But now, with the inflation, everything is more expensive. Now I have a house, so I have to pay more because it's not the same thing. So basically, at the time, I needed like 500, and now plus I have a girlfriend, so it's it's more expensive. Yeah,
No
I
comment here.
wanted to joke, but yeah. But now, and to be transparent, at the minimum, I need 1,200 euros to live.
Yeah.
Without this, okay, I will be able to reduce a bit my food because I'm eating a lot for gym, but okay, it will be about like 50, 60 euros a month uh, of yeah, promotion, but it's not the same. So you have to consider
Yeah.
the way you are living. If
It's
you're
kind of it's kind of the way I'm understanding, but it's kind of like a blessing in disguise too. Because like before, you were charging, I guess maybe slightly less because you were paying less in general, but now you're charging more. But you're still like, arguably speaking, like over time, the quality of your work still stays the same, or maybe slightly gets better. Of course, we all improve
Mhm.
over time. But like, if you didn't have all the increase in the expenses, maybe you would never have really increased your prices. So in a sense, that
um,
that
um,
helped.
I'm, no, I'm not sure because to be honest, I didn't change my price for 2 years, I think, because
Mhm.
I consider that my level is at the same for the 24 past months because I had a lot of projects and really few time to explore new skills. So I consider that I'm the same, almost the same guy. But no. Obviously, I would have increased my price step by step, even without this new lifestyle.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
so you mentioned you work with a bunch of clients. So how many projects on average would you be taking per month?
okay. So from now, because I'm more reasonable, because I'm getting older now, I would say that what I try to do is I take one product video. So as I said before, it will take me like between 3 and 4 weeks, depending on the reactivity of the client, etc. But if it's my main project, I will be almost 100% focused on this. So I will be pretty fast. And I try, sorry, to take 1, 2, 3 projects more in the month. It depends. This month, I already had so my main project, and I already have 3 other ones, but it was just 3 half a day. So just working 2 or 3 hours on the evening or weekend, and it's just a bit more money and cool projects to show eventually on my portfolio. So yeah, but I try to not overwhelm myself because in the past I had I've been really tired. Yeah, I was constantly tired. I'm doing a lot of sports, and at the time, I was injured almost every month. I I knew at this time that my body was, hey, calm down. You have to take some time for me, for you. So, but yeah, for me, and currently that's what I'm doing.
Right. And
I
I
will
guess a
try.
question maybe now that's more directed towards the audience. You've been working as a motion designer for 7 years. From a business perspective, what are some of the mistakes? I mean, you mentioned right now that maybe taking more projects than you could handle is one of those mistakes. But what are other mistakes from like maybe the business side of things? Do you think designers or even yourself made in the past that you feel like it's actually really important to highlight?
Hmm. I try to think about the most important one. All I will try to provide few couple of advice, um, and I'm aware that some of the advices will be so sometimes you will be not able to apply them because it depends on your network, on if you have the choice. Because the first one, for example, it's the client matching. I mean, now I'm not working anymore with clients if I don't feel it will fit. I mean, if they on the first call, for example, they are trying to reduce your price. They are uh, they don't want to pay a down payment. For example, uh, if they are pretty aggressive on the deadline, I don't know. I don't want to work in the stress constantly. Working as a freelancer is already something stressful, so let's reduce this. What can I say more? Um, e- yeah, basically, is this. I'm not working also. This is not an advice on or an error, on a mistake. Sorry, but I would say personally, I don't want to work in companies. I mean, in offices. I'm really happy at home, and you should have the right to decide if you want or not to work in a remote or yes or no. So yeah, the client match, the project match. So I mean, at the beginning, maybe you will be a bit scared, afraid to earn enough money because we basically I mean by all the freelancers started by this. You at the beginning you have nothing, you have probably no network, and you are going to accept all the projects. But maybe some of these projects will be really stressful. Some of them will be out of your skills or out of your vision, your your brand, your what you like to do. You have to, if you can, once again, if you can, let's choose the kind of project you want to do because I think as an artist, if you're working on something you don't like, I mean, we will see it in the result. I mean, we'll see that you haven't done it 100% of the effort you can put in this project. So if you can choose your project, also try to, if you can, sell your value and not your time. This is pretty famous, probably from John Doe or a lot of influencers or anyway, try to think about your skills, as I said before, your lifestyle, the cost, your life cost, the subscription, and try to not to try to get more and more and more money all the time. I mean, if you're working well, you will be probably wealthy, I think.
Yeah.
Just uh, don't think about money first. Just work well. I think it's the better advice I could say. Maybe for be really direct and in terms of, I mean, in order to answer the best to the original question, which was about mistakes, don't start to work without storyboarding. Don't start your animation if you didn't have any green light from your clients or something. You will just lose time if they decide to make any changes because it will be your fault. I've done this in the past because I was, okay, I don't like storyboarding, I will go through the animation. No, don't do this.
I love this. A lot of wise advice, and it's clear that the advice comes from experience. I think it happens to all of us. Everybody is starting out, even whether it's in design or any other field. Especially the whole point about when you're first starting out as a freelancer, you may be a bit desperate because you have no projects at the moment, and so you may try to force projects even if they're a bit out of your comfort zone. From my experience, most of the times it's either you end up not presenting your best work, and which means the client is just gonna be disappointed, or you're going to present something but it's gonna stress you out so much and it's just gonna it's gonna be a burden at the end. So be a bit wise, and even if it means you have to wait a bit longer till you find the projects that you want. So I love this. Ben, I wanted to ask you a question regarding sort of like the workflow. So you pretty much work on your own, right? And you basically have like contractors that help you with other parts. If maybe you could tell us a bit more about the system, like what parts of the whole process do you handle, and then what parts do you outsource to other people?
Okay. So as I said before, since I'm not the creative guy, I'm mostly working with existing brands because I think that the part when I'm the best is an animator, so just motion design. I mean, more motion than design. And I will take the example of a product video because this is what I'm doing the most. The first thing I will ask will be a brief, and from this brief, and probably a Figma with a brand guideline kit, UI screens, etc., and also references the client will send me, or I will find for some references and make them approved before the project. I will handle the storyboard / design. So in the process, I will always start by a storyboard in grayscale pretty often, or in color if the brand is pretty on set and there is nothing in particular to explore. So yeah, the storyboard will be with a lot of annotation in terms of intention for the animations in order to guide the client, which pretty often is not able to project himself into the animation. So while storyboarding, I'm putting a lot of notes. So then after this design and storyboard phase, I'm going straight forward to the animation that I handle at 100% in After Effects or Cinema 4D if there is some 3D to produce. I'm not really often putting sound design in my projects, so when there is, I can take some sound design, sound effects on Artlist or other platform, but I don't. I think it's pretty rough. You can do pretty good things with this, but I prefer to ask someone else to work on everything related to the sound when I can and when there is the budget for. And then my process is pretty simple, in fact. So I'm quite always alone on my projects.
Yeah, and
I don't know if I think about process, but I think this is it.
Yeah. No, I love it. Once again, systemized. Seems like you were very systemized in a lot of different areas of your life. I wanted to ask you regarding like sort of since we were talking a bit about workflow now, how do you anticipate like the future from here for like what you're doing? Because sometimes companies or like people, or maybe a freelancer, at some point they decide to kind of take this to the next level. They decide to maybe start an agency. They hire some designers, or maybe they hire some marketers or salespeople to sort of help them out and try to grow, try to maybe take on more projects and try to actually grow this into something that's even way bigger. Is that something that's crossed your mind? Is that something that sort of you strive for, or do you like the where you are right now and sort of want to keep it the same, just kind of progress from there?
So to be honest, both. I mean, I'm pretty happy working in my office, in my house, having the time to do pretty everything I want. I mean, work related or not. Um, I'm earning enough money. I mean, I feel great about this. But sometimes when I will receive a lot of project requests that I can't handle, and sometimes I'm just starting a mission, and 3 days then there is a famous client or something, a great project that I would love to work on, but I'm like, okay, no, if I accept this, I will be focused 100% on the current one. So I don't have the time, so I have to refer somewhere else. And this is pretty frustrating because sometimes I have to let go awesome brands. So this is the first option which make me think about the future and maybe try to create a company, or maybe not a company, but at least a collective, a freelancer maybe. I would love to try this because in France, I don't know in other countries exactly how it is, but in France, having companies, the rates are, I don't have any words for this. No, the taxes, sorry, the taxes are way too high. I mean, just a quick example in France, obviously I'm taking shortcuts for my explanation, but let's say you want to be paid, you want to pay yourself 1,000 euros, and I'm not talking about freelance. Freelance for freelancers it's other taxes, lower amounts, but you are stick to maximum a maximum salary. Anyway, let's say you have a company, SAS in France or SASU or anyway. For 1,000 euros, you will have to pay 2.5 more. So you have to generate 2,500 to have 1,000 net. So let's say you are 2 or 3 in the companies, and obviously you will not survive with 1,000 a month. So you will have the needs of more. You will have to have. Let's say I found a company. Currently, to give you an example, every month I'm between 4 and 7K net. That's pretty comfortable. If I create a company, having this every month will be, I will have to charge more. I will have to work maybe more, but you will have to be better and and charge more because the taxes are way too high. So that's my no-go for create a company for now.
Makes a lot of sense, yeah, and it's very situational, as you said, because I mean, if you're living in a low tax rate country, then obviously the decisions differ. So yeah, makes absolutely a lot of sense. I guess final question, Ben. Sort of, we already kind of talked a bit about this before, like the advice, but yeah, is there any sort of advice for like perhaps, or we mentioned before that you depend a lot on like referrals sort of for your business. So question is, maybe is there a formula to that, sort of like how a person could perhaps get in the situation where they become like that go-to person within a network of companies? Is there a specific strategy sort of thing that you do, or is it really more like luck based? Like obviously like luck plays a role in that, but like sort of like what goes behind that? Like can you actually be in a position where you sort of actually establish the whole referral system without it sort of just popping up out of nowhere?
I would say it's a mix of luck, obviously, but also probably the quality of my work and what I provide when I'm working. Because if it wasn't a good work, I would probably haven't any recommendation. So yeah, my advice in order to maybe feed your organic network to increase and, or I don't know, improve it, would be maybe small advices, but you should take them together. So the first one was about the how you charge your clients. Don't be the guy who want to have 10, 15 or 20K on each project. I mean, it depends on the project. It's if you're going to work on an awesome 3D shoes for Nike or something else, obviously it would be an amazing rate. But I mean, don't be this really expensive guy if you don't, maybe you don't worth it. Maybe you don't need it. And once again, think about your client. Every client don't have the same budget, and everything is not just about money. So, okay, let's charge whatever you want, but try to be honest and transparency about what you really think, how much it will cost, and then take care of your clients. I mean, try to be the most proactive, reactive as possible. Personally, even if it's okay, sometimes it's not good, but even if it's 10 or 11 p.m., I'm answering on Slack. So sometimes I'm on Slack just to give an update. Let's say you don't have a lot of things to show at the end of the day. You are currently on a storyboard and a research and development phase. Show something. At least record a loom of 5 minutes. At least they will see you for 2, 3, 5, 4 minutes, just explaining the way you are currently thinking. Maybe just, even if they understand anything, show your wireframe or on Cinema 4D or your research, but try to, and this is something I'm doing every day, post an update. Just update your clients and show them that you are here for them. Even if you don't have a final result to show. I think this is really important. Then this is a small advice, but when you are providing a source file, if you can make it templatable for the smaller projects, show them that they will be able to reuse what you've done. Think about rename your layer, organize your projects, try to be organized. This is important because the day when someone will open your project on the team, if it's easy to use and to understand, they will say, "Hey, Ben has done an amazing thing. It's easy for me." I think it's a lot of small things that you should do to take care the best of your clients that will be that will improve your relationship. I don't know if I think about something else, but yeah, and also to try to involve your clients. I mean, maybe you will have a lot of white cards. They will let you be really. They will let you a lot of freedom on the project, but let's include them. I mean, this is their product, this is their project, so don't work alone as a submarine and you share your work every 3 or 4 days. Share them every day what you're doing, and Let's ask for specific questions where you need their help or their feedback. I think this is what I would say.
I love it. You mentioned earlier, like it's like the small things all connect to each other. It's almost like when you're designing a video or even a landing page. You know, it's like usually people what the parts that they find like as well like super wow are like usually the small details. It's just like almost it goes to show like, oh wow, this person is so detailed. He thought about this and that. So I guess the good summary of that would be sort of like give a great experience. Do great work, which is obvious one. If you know have actually really good work, be reasonable with sort of the demands and sort of how you deal with the customers, and then also actually involve the customer, have them be part of the process as well. I absolutely love this. This is some advice that I feel like I could incorporate into my business, especially sort of how you deal with the experience of the customer. So this has been very helpful, Ben, and I'm sure this will be helpful to a lot of people as well. But yeah, man, without further ado, thank you so much for actually having joined this episode, and hopefully we can have a future episode. Who knows? Maybe we'll talk about how you actually started partnering up with somebody, or maybe move to a different country and actually started a company over there. Who knows?
Yeah, great.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Ben, and see you soon. Bye bye.
See you. Bye.